goalie gear, Snob, and I'm definitely not in Texas anymore.
Everything's in French. So I'm sure you're thinking, what is the Hockey House? What is this Four Flags Cup? But I'm going to do my best to kind of break it down and tell you guys about my experience there. And of course, tell you about all the other fun stuff I got to do visiting CCM in Montreal. So starting on Wednesday, I did get to participate in the Four Flags Cup at the Old Port in Montreal. So the way it was set up here was basically a mini 3-on-3 tournament style where the winner takes home gold, the loser of that game takes home silver, and then there's a little bit of a bronze kind of consolation game there as well. But this is basically replicating what's coming up in the Four Nations face-off that the NHL is doing. So we have USA, we have Canada, we have Sweden, and we have Finland. So I did get to play goalie for Team USA, which is what you can see the branded gear and everything I have here. So the players that you're going to be seeing in some of these highlights were wearing that stuff, and they were getting to use these special new CCM Vision player sticks and get to check out that gear. It was really interesting to get to play here because I've never been to Montreal. I've only been to Toronto once before. Chelsey has never been outside of the US to go to Canada. She's done a little bit of other traveling, but never got a chance to go to Canada. So it's really interesting for us to go there. So playing at the Old Port was basically an old school kind of like ice rink that was built off of a river. And then CCM put up some boards around it. We played a mini 3-on-3. Before I played with USA, I did get to play for Team Sweden. So me and Vincenzo were the only goalies that were there. So we kind of had to switch and play for a few other teams or countries, if you will. But I did first play with Team Sweden and did get to play against Team Canada. Team Canada did have Dream Hockey, HowToHockey, and Pavel Barber out there, and they were really hard to play against in a 3-on-3 format. They're all very skilled hockey players, so that was pretty cool. But playing with Team Sweden here, they were all fantastic to play with, and it was great getting to do that. So Sweden did pick up the win against Team Canada. We got to advance. On my team with Team USA, I had John Schiavo, Sterling Bowman, and Pat Shea. And those guys are all three great content creators, actors. They're involved in the hockey community. And it was really cool getting to play with them here. And a special shout out to John that tried wearing the Ray-Ban Metas and filming a little bit more there. But it looks like his face got a little bit too cold, so we had to pull them off. We did get to go with USA versus Finland, so I did get to break out the USA jersey and play against Finland, and Team USA did win against Finland there, but I'll include some highlights of that here so you kind of see what that looks like. Then going into the gold medal game, I did have to put on the USA sweater again and go against Sweden. But I'll be honest, the Swedish players tried to bribe me to stay in the Sweden jersey because they really liked having me and we had some great chemistry. But Vince did get to play for them, and it was a very competitive game, and man, it was fast-paced. And these formats that CCM was doing was 20 minutes, no subs, just literally just 20 minutes back and forth. And it was like, I was soaked, I was very sweaty, I was having to work really hard, and man, it was an absolute blast. but we did kind of get to take home the gold medal there, if you will, and we did get to skate around at the cup a little bit, which was pretty fun. We did kind of film a little bit of the cup when we were kind of skating around with it after the game, after we went back inside to warm up. So that's why you're going to see me wearing a Finland jersey, as I had to play that consolation game. But it was really cool to have that experience, to get to play with those guys here, have some laughs, make a few saves, and just overall get to experience high-level hockey players in such a tight area. And those 20-minute periods were an absolute killer. They were so great. It was just so fast-paced, and man, it was just an absolute blast. I did just want to give a quick shout out to Chelsey, who helped film a lot of stuff here for that game in the Four Flags Cup. And it was about, I think it was like 8 degrees Fahrenheit, and it was snowing the entire time. And we were standing on a rink that had, of course, that ice. We put up those extra boards. So Chelsey was standing in like 1.5 inches, 2 inches of snow in 8-degree weather, and she did a fantastic job of filming everything here. And for Chelsey, who is a native Texan who doesn't have a lot of experience out in the cold and is generally, is very cold anyway, I just want to give a huge shout out to her and thank her. I love her so much for being able to film this, and also huge shout out to CCM for having her come out and help film a lot of this. But she's an absolute trooper for being able to come out and really just stand out in the cold just for me and watch me play hockey. So that was awesome that she was able to do that. But that was Wednesday, participating in the Four Flags Cup. But now I want to tell you about what happened on Thursday. Now getting into Thursday, this was a very packed day. It was a very long day, about a 12, 13-hour day by the time everything was all said and done. So a lot of the content creators were invited out for a special time at the CCM offices in Montreal. And I was as well, but I had a little bit of a different schedule, as I had to work with a goalie team and basically have a lot of product meetings and talk about their new stuff they have coming out and get to share some of my feedback on the products that I have been using. So it was a really cool time being able to hang out with Kaylee, who is the goalie product manager, Vincenzo, or Vince, who has been the graphic designer that does the all-out graphics and the stock graphics, and then Francois Olivier, or FO, and Elaine. This whole team was just so dialed into goalie gear, and they were so receptive to hearing my feedback and letting me just talk at length about a lot of the new products they have coming out, and get to share my feedback on the retro set and the white set that I have as well. So it was really cool getting to just, have that experience. And I can't thank them enough for showing me the new product and kind of letting me know into some new thoughts they have coming out on the gear, and ultimately just letting me sit there and talk about what I like in gear, what I envision CCM could be doing. I mean, they really were receptive to a lot of my feedback, and that was awesome that I got to do that. Towards the end of the day, kind of after lunch, or end of my time there at the offices, I did get to hop on their performance, out on their ice on their performance lab, which is absolutely crazy that CCM has this. So I didn't do any filming out here because it is, more or less for testing for new product, etc. But they have a giant sheet of synthetic ice with 2 nets, full boards, kind of like full locker room stalls, where you get to hop out there and just try stuff. So I tried on some new pads, and I was trying on a few other things that they have, and really just letting them get some feedback and some firsthand feedback. And that was just absolutely unreal for me to be able to have that opportunity. So just huge thanks to CCM for inviting me out to do that. And again, Kaylee specifically, it was absolutely fantastic. So after I got to spend the morning and a little bit through the afternoon, Chelsey and I left and headed back to the hotel to grab our stuff. And after we grabbed all of our stuff and got changed, we went to CCM Hockey House. What is CCM Hockey House? CCM Hockey House is something that they have been working on in a few specific markets, kind of centered around there where their offices are. But what they do is they basically take a house, or in this case, a college and a college rink, and they kind of redo it and rebrand it with anything and everything CCM, show off their new product, and they put a rink outside for people to be able to demo. So I got to go out on the creator night and hang out with like 40 other content creators that were invited out to try the new CCM Vision Sticks, try on player gear, try on gloves, you name it. So a few interesting names were like, Jeremy Rupke from HowToHockey, Pavel Barber, Dream Hockey. There was like True Crew was out there, Alexi Marita, Gabby Gibson, like so many of these people that you've seen pop up on social media were all out there to play a game and hop out on the ice. And it was just a really cool experience to be able to do that. But before we hopped on the ice, we did pull up to the college and we were able to go inside to some of the areas that they rebranded. So I got to hang out with the folks from NHL Sense Arena and really try out their new product. And I have never tried VR before. I have never tried Sense Arena, and it was crazy. They automatically put it onto the NHL setting for me and really put me to work. And man, it is spot on to what I get to see when I'm out at NHL practices. So they're not lying. That's literally the speed. That's literally the feel. And I thought it was absolutely awesome that I got to do that. I wish I made a few more saves in Sense Arena, but the VR was really messing with me since that was my first real experience with VR. But it was awesome to do that. So maybe I'll get to do a little bit more with them in the future. When it comes to some of the other sponsors there, Gatorade was there. They had some drinks around there. There was some kind of new off-ice skills testing that CCM was working on with like speed dots. So I got to mess with those a little bit. Of course, they had bubble hockey and a few other things going on there. But it was really cool to kind of experience that and just kind of mingle and chat with a lot of the other content creators. Then we all got to hop out on the ice and really just test out gear. A lot of people were testing out the new sticks, testing flexes. A lot of people were filming their bits out on the ice, which was just absolutely crazy to do. And it was just a wild overall experience. So I just kind of went out in my normal clothes, grabbed the goalie stick and gloves and my helmet, threw a toque on top to kind of match the outdoor feel. I did take one or two shots, although I wasn't really wearing any gear, but I had two people lob a few pucks in on me, which was pretty cool. So I got to experience a little bit of playing goalie out there before the creator game. And then we moved right into the creator game. I did end up losing this game, but no big deal. I had a fantastic time. It was just so cool being out there with all these creators, making some really cool skill moves, picking the puck up, twisting it around, pulling your lacrosse moves, even guys just, having a few fights and everything as well too. Like it was an absolute blast. So I did 3 10-minute periods of runtime, and while it went by super quick, I had an absolute blast. It was just something I don't think I'll ever get to experience really again. And huge thanks to CCM for helping put all of this together. And of course, I was wearing a lot of CCM visible gear there, and it was awesome getting to use the CCM gear out on the ice. It was just a great time.
Good game, guys. Good game. Nice and fun. Let's warm up. Everybody, after you get your gear off, head inside. Well, head inside, then take your gear off. Or you do you. Then head on upstairs, have a beverage or 5. Warm up. We'll see you in there. Good job, everybody. Good game.
And after the creator game, him and I did go into the igloo that they had set up out there, which was sponsored by Justition. And those guys, they helped design a lot of the logos and apparel for the event. And I got to see a lot of special, cool product that was out at the igloo there. I get to see some of the all-out graphics that Vince worked on a set of E-Flex 7s that were sitting there. And man, it was just an absolute great time. I absolutely loved being out there and getting to experience all of that. So after that creator game and the Hockey House event, they did have a few other nights of Hockey House events going on. They specifically had a women's content creator time, and they did have 2 other days where youth hockey organizations were able to come out and experience that and test a lot of new CCM product and hop out on the ice as well. And man, it was pretty cool that CCM was able to kind of take over and kind of commandeer this area. and really just have a cool experience for a lot of people to get to enjoy. So if you haven't heard of the Hockey House, or if it comes into your area, I highly recommend that you get to sign up for it and try to go out to it, because it was an absolute blast getting to use this new CCM product, test everything out, and honestly, ultimately just hang out with a lot of other like-minded creators. So it was an awesome time. I did just want to give another shout out to Jeremy Rupke and his wife Sammy, who were just super kind to myself and Chelsey. We might have been some of the oldest people there, sorry. But, we were there and we were able to chat a lot. We spent a lot of time, around the hotel chatting as well, taking a few rides to and from the area together. But it was just great hanging out with them and getting to learn about what a seasoned content creator does in their time, and a lot of stuff that they have going on. And huge shout out to Sammy for helping Chelsey stay warm the entire time, and just chatting with her as well. It was really nice and kind of made me feel good knowing that, Chelsey was getting taken care of as well by CCM and of course by Sammy. But it was really cool being able to experience that. I did just want to give one final shout out to Kaylee specifically and the rest of the CCM goalie team. I know I was there at the offices yapping a whole bunch about goalie gear and trying out a whole bunch of new stuff, but I mean, having to have that experience of being able to, provide real world feedback after testing and trying out a lot of their gear is huge. I had a fantastic time being able to do that, and I just want to give them a huge shout out for really just listening to me and just kind of hearing what I have to say about all of their gear. So that kind of summarizes my time in Montreal, and it was a quick kind of like 2 or 3 days that I was there, but it was a fantastic time getting to hang out there and really just experience the coldness of Montreal, kind of get back in the snow. I mean, it was just a once in a lifetime experience, and hopefully CCM will be able to invite me out again. But I hope you guys get to enjoy these clips of the Hockey House and the Four Flags Cup. And again, if the Hockey House comes into your area, I highly recommend that you sign up and try to head out there. If you've liked this video with me talking about CCM, please click the videos right there so you can see me unbox my CCM Axis XF Pro set. And if you'd like to see me break down more NHL goalies, click that NHL playlist right there.